Okay, well, I did want to, talk about GloRilla because she got her a boo now.
Okay.
Yes. Now, Charlamagne, you can be all up in her business because it's basically public at this point.
Rapper GloRilla just set the internet on fire after being spotted hand-in-hand with NBA star Brandon Ingram during her wild birthday trip to Cabo. Fans are calling it a power couple moment. But what if I told you the viral clip is only half the story? Because at the very same time the world was celebrating her new romance, GloRilla was fighting a shocking legal battle that could put her entire career and even her freedom on the line. This isn't just about love, it's about survival. Let's get into it. Fresh footage of rapper GloRilla alongside NBA star Brandon Ingram has set the internet ablaze, with fans dissecting every moment of her personal life. Yet, the viral clip is only part of a much bigger story because at the same time, GloRilla is entangled in a serious legal battle that could have lasting consequences on her career. The timeline begins on July 27, 2025, when GloRilla, born Gloria Hallelujah Woods, rang in her 26th birthday in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, for the Memphis-born rapper. The celebration marked another milestone in a journey that has been nothing short of extraordinary. Just 3 years earlier, she was working fast food shifts before her breakout hit FNF, Let's Go catapulted her to stardom. With over 25 million records sold in the US and a Grammy nomination to her name, it's no surprise that when she celebrates, she does it big. But the very next day, July 28, TMZ released footage that would ignite a frenzy across social media. The clip showed GloRilla and Brandon Ingram, the 6'8" forward recently traded to the Toronto Raptors, getting close at Cabo's Ballum nightclub. The setting was classic party luxury. Dim lights drenched in neon purple, the club's glowing sign hanging in the background, and the high-voltage energy of a birthday night in Mexico. In the video, GloRilla stood out effortlessly, her strapless top and glimmering jewelry reflecting every flash of light as she celebrated in style. Brandon Ingram, dressed in a simple denim jacket, kept his look casual yet sharp. What truly caught everyone's attention, though, was the energy between him and GloRilla. The two were seen swaying together to the music, with GloRilla wrapping her arms around his neck in a gesture that spoke louder than words. While there was no kissing or anything overt, the intimacy of their body language was impossible to ignore. The clip, just 37 seconds long, has since been picked apart by fans frame by frame, as if it were a piece of historical evidence rather than a nightclub moment. But the real buzz didn't stop inside the club. It carried into the early hours of the morning. Around 3 a.m., as the party died down, GloRilla and Ingram were spotted leaving hand in hand, moving with the kind of comfort that hinted at more than just casual acquaintance. Outside, cameras caught them slipping into a light-colored SUV. The moment inside the car only fueled speculation further. GloRilla, perched in the back seat, juggled not one but two phones, ever ready to capture memories for the gram. Holding a gold phone, she smiled and gestured playfully, clearly in her element, while Ingram sat beside her looking equally at ease, his attention on his own phone but with the kind of relaxed grin that suggested he was exactly where he wanted to be. But the plot thickens even further. True to her social media savvy persona, GloRilla didn't keep her Cabo getaway entirely under wraps. She shared a handful of Instagram stories from her birthday trip, and one particular post sent fans straight into detective mode. The clip showed nothing more than a man's arm, just an arm, but that was all it took. Viewers zoomed in, analyzed the tattoos, compared the build, and quickly began speculating that the mysterious arm belonged to none other than Brandon Ingram. GloRilla, of course, never tagged him or dropped his name, but sometimes silence speaks louder than any caption could.
She popped out. So her and Brandon Ingram were spotted first in a club in Cabo. She's been celebrating her birthday, and in the video she's like hugging him and they walk in together. And then additionally there's a video that now is being reported of them two in the car, and it's really cute. She has two phones, she has one for the light, she's holding up the other one, and they're like just making a video together. So
salute to them.
It looks like she might got her little boo thing.
What makes this possible pairing so fascinating is that it's more than just two celebrities caught in the same frame. It feels like a match that actually makes sense. For starters, the age alignment is spot on. GloRilla at 26 and Brandon Ingram at 27 are both established in their fields, yet still young enough to embrace life's adventures. Then there's their shared southern roots. GloRilla grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, while Ingram hails from Kinston, North Carolina, backgrounds that often carry a deep sense of culture, family, and familiarity. Even their physical dynamic has sparked conversation online, with Ingram towering at 6 feet 8 inches and GloRilla standing around 5'5". They embody that tall guy, short girl aesthetic the internet loves to romanticize. Memes, edits, and fan art of the two have flooded social media, and the buzz hasn't slowed down. But beyond the visuals, the timing has fans most intrigued. In late 2024, GloRilla publicly declared she was single and celibate, waiting for the right man God intended for her. To see her possibly opening her heart again marks a major shift in her journey. On the other hand, Ingram has been famously private about his love life throughout his NBA career, making his appearance in such an intimate context with her feel all the more significant. The result? A wave of overwhelmingly positive reactions online, with many rooting for the duo to be more than just a fleeting connection. What's especially striking about this situation is the unusually positive reaction it's receiving. In an era where celebrity romances are often met with criticism or skepticism, fans seem genuinely supportive of GloRilla and Brandon Ingram. Phrases like power couple vibes have been trending across social platforms, with one post pulling in more than 4,000 likes, as users joked about their undeniable chemistry. The overall mood online suggests that people aren't just curious, they're actually rooting for the pair. With that, it's the perfect time to shift gears and look deeper. To really understand where this rumored connection might lead, we need to examine their relationship histories, because who they've loved in the past helps explain who they are now. And trust me, both of them come with fascinating backstories. Let's begin with GloRilla. Her dating timeline isn't the typical celebrity reel of flings and photo ops. Instead, it reads more like a journey of self-discovery marked by lessons in boundaries, resilience, and personal growth. The most significant relationship she's publicly acknowledged was with a man known online as Davis on Earth, a figure who often comes up in conversations about her life before fame. According to GloRilla herself, that relationship carried challenges that would go on to shape her views on love and commitment in profound ways. GloRilla's most formative relationship came with its fair share of turbulence and, in her own words, significant drama and trauma. In 2023, she revealed in interviews a frightening moment when, during an argument, she nearly shot an ex-boyfriend. Fans quickly connected this account to Davis on Earth, the man often referenced from her pre-fame years. While the story raised eyebrows, GloRilla has been transparent about how those experiences forced her to reflect, grow, and set stronger boundaries for herself. By 2024, Davis was posting reflective messages on social media, reminiscing about life before and after their time together. The timing suggests their breakup overlapped with GloRilla's rapid ascent to fame, a shift that inevitably brought new challenges and distance. Interestingly, her dating timeline since stepping into the spotlight has been relatively quiet, underscoring her selectiveness when it comes to romance. Of course, that hasn't stopped the rumor mill from spinning. Back in 2022, whispers surfaced of a possible connection with Drake, but without photos, statements, or public appearances to back it up. Most dismissed it as typical speculation surrounding an artist of his reputation. GloRilla herself never addressed the chatter. In February 2024, however, she made headlines for shooting her shot at NBA star Damian Lillard during the All-Star game, posting boldly that she wanted him while joking his ex-wife couldn't compete. She stirred a frenzy online. By October, Lillard set the record straight, clarifying they were just friends. GloRilla later confirmed it was nothing more than playful flirtation, with no romance involved. Now, if GloRilla's history has been defined by lessons learned in the public eye, Brandon Ingram's has been the opposite. His approach to relationships has been marked by extreme privacy and near total discretion, rarely allowing the public a glimpse into his personal life. Brandon Ingram's private approach to relationships hasn't stopped gossip from swirling whenever he's linked to someone new. Back in 2018, during his time with the Los Angeles Lakers, he was rumored to be dating Raylan Inns, a California-based exotic dancer, Instagram model, and YouTuber with a sizable following of over 600,000. That relationship reportedly came with strict conditions. Inns was not allowed to post Ingram's face publicly, had to watch games from the upper levels of the arena, and was forbidden from openly discussing their connection. What appeared low-key on the surface was actually marked by tension, with accusations that Ingram was treating her as a side relationship. By the end of 2018, the two had reportedly split amid cheating allegations. Complicating things further were overlapping rumors about Amber Washington, Another woman who hinted on social media that Ingram had been seeing multiple partners at once. Washington dropped cryptic posts about his dotage, and even claimed she had priority seating at games, fueling speculation about infidelity and adding drama to his off-court life. In 2019, Ingram was again in the spotlight, this time linked to model and influencer Aaliyah Petty. Around the same period, Petty announced her pregnancy, and initial reports suggested Ingram might be the father. However, she later clarified that the child was with Portland Trail Blazers guard Anthony Simons. Despite the clarification, the confusion lingered, with some outlets continuing to tie Ingram's name to the situation, showing just how narratives can spiral in the intersection of sports and celebrity culture. By 2021, Brandon Ingram was briefly linked to R&B singer Paloma Ford during the NBA All-Star Weekend. The two were spotted together, and Ford even shared an Instagram photo that set off a wave of romance chatter. Still, reports described the connection as more of a fling than a committed relationship, and without further confirmation, the buzz quickly faded from the public eye. What's striking when comparing the relationship histories of GloRilla and Ingram is how both seem to have matured from their past experiences, becoming increasingly intentional about who they allow into their personal lives. GloRilla, as a rising star in music, has had to navigate speculation and scrutiny, while Ingram, as an NBA athlete, has faced his own share of attention tied to high-profile women. Both have clearly developed strategies for balancing public curiosity with private boundaries, and both appear to prioritize authenticity and genuine connection over surface-level attraction or publicity stunts. That said, their pairing isn't without potential challenges. History has shown that when an NBA star and a musician come together, the outcome isn't always smooth sailing. One of the most memorable examples is the whirlwind romance between Nick Young and rapper Iggy Azalea. Beginning in 2013, their relationship reached a high point with an engagement in 2015. On the surface, it looked like a dream match, an NBA champion and a rising rap star building a future together. But by 2016, the fairy tale unraveled in spectacular fashion, leading to one of the most infamous scandals involving an athlete-musician couple. The risks of high-profile relationships between NBA stars and musicians are easy to trace through history, and the cautionary tales are plenty. One of the most infamous cases came in 2016, when Lakers guard D'Angelo Russell leaked a video of his teammate Nick Young admitting to cheating on fiancée Iggy Azalea. The fallout was massive. Azalea ended their engagement, Young's career momentum stalled under the weight of scandal, and even Russell faced backlash that ultimately led to him being traded.
Well, it just depends. If what the victim has is open and notorious, if there was weed all over, if there were guns all over, then law enforcement goes, wait a minute, we'll still investigate this, but we're going to have to investigate the new one. If it's right in their face, they can't turn it down. They've got to do what they've got to do. And if you don't break the law, you don't have any problem, do you?
Another striking example comes from 2012, when J.R. Smith and Rihanna shared a short-lived fling during his time with the New York Knicks. What began as playful PDA in clubs quickly soured when Rihanna blasted Smith publicly on social media, calling him thirsty and blaming his playoff slump on his partying habits. The moment sparked debates about how personal relationships can bleed into professional performance, and how quickly a glamorous romance can spiral into public humiliation. Perhaps the most relevant example for GloRilla and Brandon Ingram is the 2017 to 2018 relationship between NBA star Ben Simmons and R&B singer Tinashe. On paper, it looked ideal, a young all-star athlete and a rising music star, but things unraveled with cheating allegations, and Tinashe poured her heartbreak into breakup songs that strongly hinted at Simmons' infidelity. The breakup turned into a spectacle, especially when Simmons soon moved on with Kendall Jenner, a narrative that tarnished both his and Tinashe's reputations. And the trend hasn't slowed. In 2024 to 2025, Chicago Bulls player Torrey Craig dated rap superstar Megan Thee Stallion, only for controversy to erupt when leaked messages and payment receipts from another woman suggested infidelity. The scandal reignited debates about the recurring patterns of trust issues in NBA hip-hop pairings and underscored how, in the age of social media, private missteps are almost instantly exposed to the world. Perhaps the most heartbreaking cautionary tale comes from former NBA champion Iman Shumpert and singer Teyana Taylor. To the outside world, they embodied the idea of a true power couple married in 2016, raising 2 daughters, and presenting a picture of family strength and artistic partnership. But by 2023, The facade crumbled when Taylor filed for divorce, alleging emotional and mental abuse, narcissism, and infidelity. What followed was an acrimonious split involving custody battles and public accusations, with Taylor even claiming Shumpert endangered their family's safety. Their downfall served as a painful reminder that even long-term NBA musician relationships, built on years of shared life and children, are not immune to the pressures of fame and lifestyle. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, the pattern becomes clear. Studies of NBA musician pairings suggest that nearly 70% of these relationships don't survive beyond a year. The reasons are strikingly consistent: relentless media scrutiny that transforms private struggles into viral headlines, grueling travel schedules that create both distance and temptation, professional distractions that erode trust, and the financial or legal battles that often follow high-profile breakups. Time and again, the same themes emerge: intensity, exposure, and the crushing weight of public expectation, making it clear why so many of these romances struggle to last. When it comes to celebrity breakups, legal battles are often the final blow, and right now, GloRilla is facing one that could reshape not only her career but also any budding relationship with Brandon Ingram. Just days before that Cabo nightclub footage exploded online, she found herself caught in a shocking legal storm that added a whole new layer of drama to her already hectic life. Here's where the story takes a wild turn. While fans were busy analyzing the romantic getaway footage, GloRilla was dealing with an ordeal straight out of a crime drama. In the early hours of July 20, 2025, around 1:30 a.m., 3 suspects allegedly broke into her home in Forsyth County, Georgia. But the twist? She wasn't even there. At the time, she was in Indianapolis performing at the WNBA All-Star Game. Continuing to thrive professionally, back at the house, an armed occupant opened fire on the intruders, who managed to escape without injury. Thankfully, no one inside the home was harmed, though family members staying there were forced to call police in what must have been an absolutely terrifying ordeal. You'd assume law enforcement would immediately turn all attention to tracking down the criminals responsible for violating her home. But surprisingly, that's not how things played out. What happened next almost defies belief. Instead of rallying around GloRilla as the victim of a terrifying home invasion, investigators claimed they noticed a strong odor of narcotics during their response. That observation became the basis for a search warrant, and soon deputies reported finding more than an ounce of marijuana in the master bedroom closet, along with a Schedule I controlled substance, in a matter of hours. The narrative flipped on its head. GloRilla, once the victim of a violent crime, was suddenly facing 2 felony charges, each carrying the possibility of up to 10 years in prison and fines of $10,000. The irony is staggering. The suspects who broke into her home remain unidentified and free, while she was forced into a courtroom battle of her own. On July 22, 2025, GloRilla voluntarily turned herself in. She was released that same day after posting a $22,260 bond. And yet, the injustice didn't end there. While the 3 intruders remain at large, she became the only one arrested in connection to the incident. Unsurprisingly, GloRilla refused to stay silent. On social media, she blasted the system for prioritizing cannabis over catching the criminals, who endangered her family. "My house got home invaded Saturday, and instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. Long story short, my house gets home invaded, and I'm the only one that gets arrested." Her legal team, attorneys Marissa Goldberg and Drew Finneling, doubled down, calling the arrest a disturbing window into warped law enforcement priorities. They reminded the public that GloRilla was a victim, not a perpetrator, and condemned the waste of taxpayer dollars being spent prosecuting her while the true criminals remain free. The case has since drawn political attention. Georgia State Representative Eric Bell publicly urged prosecutors to drop the charges, tying the situation to his House Bill 464, a measure designed to prevent victims from being arrested on unrelated minor offenses when reporting crimes. Bell summed it up powerfully: "No one, regardless of fame, background, or zip code, should fear being criminalized for doing the right thing." Sadly, her experience is part of a broader, troubling pattern. Too often, Black victims of crime find themselves doubly punished, first by the trauma of the incident itself, and then by a legal system that criminalizes them for circumstances far beyond their control. Support could actually work in their favor if they choose to pursue the relationship seriously. Both are young, successful, and share Southern roots, which has fueled a power couple narrative that fans seem eager to embrace. Yet beneath The surface. The stakes are far higher than a simple celebrity romance. The reality is this: GloRilla's legal entanglements aren't just personal struggles, they carry the potential to destabilize any partnership she steps into. Brandon Ingram, having just transitioned to the Toronto Raptors and preparing for a pivotal stage in his career, cannot afford distractions of this magnitude. History has shown us repeatedly that NBA musician pairings often collapse under the weight of public scrutiny, conflicting schedules, and, most notably, legal or personal scandals. The silence from both camps, then, is telling. It suggests a calculated decision to avoid inflaming the situation further. For Ingram, discretion protects his professional reputation. For GloRilla, it allows her to shift the narrative back toward her music and career accomplishments rather than her legal troubles, in an era where celebrity relationships are often overexposed within days. This mutual restraint is not only rare, it might be the very thing that keeps their connection intact, at least for now. Still, the unanswered question looms: can they build something real in the shadow of GloRilla's ongoing cases and the relentless media microscope? Or will their story eventually join the long list of NBA artist relationships that promised fireworks but ended in fallout? For now, the world waits, watching two young stars walk a tightrope between love, legacy, and the kind of pressure that has ended even the strongest pairings before them. Public perception may currently be leaning in their favor. But if we strip away the optimism and look at the cold reality, the odds are stacked against them. The NBA lifestyle alone is notoriously unforgiving: 80 to regular season games, playoff runs, constant travel, and the physical and mental grind that few outside the league can truly understand. For Brandon Ingram, who is still adjusting to the demands of a new team in Toronto, that pressure is amplified. On the other side, GloRilla is riding the biggest wave of her career. With over 25 million records sold in the US, all while staring down felony charges that could bring fines, prison time, and an avalanche of negative press. Historically, both musicians and NBA players have struggled to sustain long-term relationships under such conditions. Add to that GloRilla's pending legal battles, court dates, attorney fees, headlines dissecting her every move, and what you have is not just stress, but a minefield that could derail even the most genuine connection. And yet, there are reasons for cautious optimism. Unlike many celebrity couples who immediately broadcast their every move online, Ingram and GloRilla have chosen silence, a deliberate decision that reflects both maturity and strategic restraint. Their connection didn't begin as a publicity stunt, but rather through authentic, organic moments. And in the face of enormous pressure, GloRilla has displayed resilience, refusing to let her legal troubles define her, continuing to perform at major events like her July 25, 2025, GloBash concert in Memphis. Looking ahead, three scenarios emerge. The most probable, at around 50%, is that the relentless legal drama proves too overwhelming, quietly dissolving any budding romance by fall 2025. A second, with about 30% likelihood, is that if charges are dropped or resolved favorably, outcome Georgia State Representative Eric Spell is actively advocating for the two could deepen their relationship into something serious by early 2026, with Ingram providing stability as she rebuilds. The final scenario, with about 20% probability, is that they maintain only a casual bond for now, one that could evolve into something more meaningful once her legal issues are firmly behind her, possibly by 2026 or 2027. What's undeniable is, this GloRilla is navigating far more than rumors about her love life. She is fighting for her freedom, her reputation, and justice in the aftermath of a deeply personal violation. Any relationship she steps into, whether with Brandon Ingram or someone else, will be tested not just by fame, but by the weight of these battles she must first overcome. At the end of the day, any relationship, no matter how promising, takes a backseat to the fight for freedom. GloRilla isn't just protecting her career, she's protecting everything she's worked to build from the ground up. The short-term outlook may be clouded with legal uncertainty, but if justice prevails, the long-term could still hold space for love and stability. Fairy tales say love conquers all, but in reality, felony charges and the threat of prison time have a way of crushing even the strongest romances. For now, GloRilla's priority has to be clearing her name. Everything else, including Brandon Ingram, will have to wait. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to check out our other deep dives into the stories shaping music, sports, and culture. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.